Hello everyone, I'm Chase at Mountain ATV, and this is our lock-on grip guide. All right, so if you are grip shopping, chances are you have a set of lock-on grips on your radar, or probably know somebody that has a set. Myself personally, I'm a big fan of lock-on grips. I've been using them for years. And there's two things about lock-on grips that I really like. And the first one is how quickly and easily you can install them or remove them. It literally just takes a couple of minutes, no messy grip glue. You don't need any safety wire. And the other big benefit that I really like is the durability. When you compare a lock-on grip to a lot of other grips that we offer, the end caps on these are very hard, which means that when you have a crash or something as simple as a tip over, much less likely to damage or tear the grip. So you prevent getting dirt underneath the grip or inside the handlebar. So for me, I really like the durability. Now, if you're not too familiar with a lock-on grip, I'll explain how they work. They're really simple. So when you pick up a set, your clutch side, you're gonna notice that both the clutch side and the throttle side, you're gonna have a plastic sleeve, and then the grip or the rubber compound is molded onto that plastic sleeve. So when you get your set, you're just gonna take the grips that you have right now, take those off, clean off your handlebars, but then you're gonna take the clutch side and you're literally just gonna slide it right onto the handlebar. Once you've done that, you're gonna rotate it, get it into place, and then each one of these grips, you'll notice will have a clamp on the inside. You're just gonna tighten down that clamp, and once you've done that, that will lock the grip into place and you're good to go. As far as the throttle side is concerned, same deal. You're gonna have a plastic sleeve with the grip molded on. Now the throttle side is already gonna have your throttle cam on it. So you're just gonna slide this on and install it the exact same way you would in a standard throttle tube, and you'll be ready to rock and roll. Now keep in mind with these that all of these grips, they're gonna come with several different cams or throttle cams in the packaging. So these are bike specific. So when you're picking yours up, you're gonna have to enter the make, the model, and the year of your bike, and that's just to make sure that there will be a cam included that's gonna work for your bike. But there'll be directions with every one of these telling you which cam you're gonna need. So you're just gonna change out the cam if you have to, install it like a standard throttle tube, and you're ready to rock and roll. So install, very simple to do. But with that being said, as you can see on the table, a lot of different options when it comes to different styles as well as different manufacturers. So I'm just gonna go through, we're gonna talk about all the different lock-on grips that we offer. I'm gonna help steer you in the right direction, give you some cool feedback and some insight on these, just so you know which one you feel is gonna be best for you. So let's get started. All right, everyone, so to get started, we have 4 different lock-on grip options coming from ODI that we're gonna show you. So the first one is the ODI V2 lock-on. So this is actually a grip that I've been running for several years. I'm a big fan. Now, before I talk about this grip, I just want to debunk a couple of myths that are out there. I get a lot of people that ask me, hey Chase, are lock-on grips, thicker, or do they feel fatter than a standard grip because they're molded onto that plastic sleeve? My answer is not really. Honestly, I think this V2 has a really thin feel to it. I've actually gone through with calipers, measured every one of these grips so I can kind of tell you the differences between the thickness. But overall for me, I think lock-on grips still have a nice thin feel to them, and they still utilize nice soft rubber compounds. And the other myth, or a lot of question that I get asked often is, well, once you have them secured, do you ever have a problem with them breaking loose or slipping? Me personally, I've never had a lock-on grip move on me. When you install these, as long as you tighten them down enough, I don't think you have anything to worry about. I can tell that from my own experience. I've never had that issue. So with the V2, this is a really good grip. This is a half waffle design. You can see nice soft rubber compound on this. When I measured this with the calipers, and this goes for all the grips, I measured all of them on the far inside next to the flange. This came in at 28.9 millimeters in diameter. So a nice thin grip, nice feel to it. Now keep in mind that with the V2, a couple things here. If you like a softer compound, well, in the V2, if you do the light gray or the white version, they actually do utilize an even softer compound for those 2 colorways. So if you like soft, go with the white or the light gray. And also I just want to point out here that for KTM Husqvarna models, they actually have a set that already come with the end caps knocked out. So you can actually run these with a full wraparound handguard. But if you don't have a KTM or Husqvarna, do not worry. With the standard V2, you can knock out the end caps and run a full wraparound handguard. Now moving on down from the V2, we've got the V2 Emig. So this grip was designed with Jeff Emig. If you're not familiar with him, he's a legend in the sport. So with the V2 Emig, so you can see similar design, you got that half waffle on here like we saw with the V2. But what you want to know about this grip is that the rubber compound isn't going to be as soft as what you get with the V2. So you do sacrifice a little bit when it comes to the softness, but one feature that riders really like about these is the durability. A lot of people talk about how long this rubber compound lasts them, and just like with that V2, these end caps you can knock out to run full wraparound handguards. And as far as the diameter is concerned with these, they're gonna be a little bit larger than the V2. They're actually gonna be just over 30 millimeters. So that's the standard Emig. Now, you have the all-new Emig V2 Pro. So this grip is brand new for 2019. Emig, they went back to the drawing board. They completely redesigned it. So if you like the previous Emig, that is here to stay, so you can stick with that. But a couple of things that they wanted to achieve with this new Emig grip. The first, they wanted to decrease the diameter. So now this grip is going to be just about the exact same as the V2. They also went to a softer rubber compound than what you have with the previous Emig grip. So it's going to be a little bit softer on the hand. Also, you notice now what I like is that you have these ribs that come across. So similar to a half waffle, but not quite. But what's cool about these ribs is that they're actually undercut. So they're going to be directional, so when you grab the grip, it's going with the direction of your hand, but having that undercut on those ribs adds a little bit of traction as you're pulling back on the grip. So overall, with the new Emig, this is probably my new favorite lock-on grip. I really like the compound that they're using. Nice and soft, good feel, nice and thin. But one thing with these grips you do want to keep in mind is that the end caps on the new Emig Pro are not removable. So if you run full wraparound handguards, you're not going to be able to knock these out. But what I love about these new end caps on the Emig Pro is that they're using actually a metal end sleeve. So it's going to be even more durable when it comes to those crashes and tip overs. So that's the Emig Pro. Now the last grip from ODI that we have, this is the ODI Rogue. So the ODI Rogue is going to be great for riders that, one, might like a grip with a larger diameter. This does have the largest diameter of any of the lock-on grips on the table today. It comes in about 32 millimeters. But for riders that have larger hands that like a larger grip feel, this would be a really good option. But if you have smaller hands, just remember it does have a larger feel to it. But what's cool about the Rogue, very unique pattern on here. You can see you've got these raised pads that come up. They have a little bit of traction on those, but the purpose of these pads is just to give a little bit more forgiveness when it comes to vibration and just give a little bit more comfort to the rider's hands. So if you like a grip that's going to have a nice soft feel to it, absorb a lot of vibration, then the Rogue would be a really good option. Now, just like with the V2 that I talked about earlier, when it comes to the Rogue, the light gray version is going to be a softer compound. So if you're going to go with the Rogue and you want a softer compound, the light gray would be the route to take. So those are all the lock-on grips that we have from ODI. Now moving on from there, we have the Defy lock-on grips coming from Torque One Racing. This is another lock-on grip that I've used personally. Some features about this grip that I like. So the first one, when it comes to diameter, you're going to be just over a millimeter more than the V2 from ODI or the Emig Pro. So still a nice thin feeling grip. As far as the rubber compound, I think it's really soft. I didn't have any issues when it comes to hurting my hands. Also too, I think the durability on this grip, the rubber compound is really good. Now one thing to keep in mind with these is that you do use a Torx key when you're tightening these down. But one feature I really like about these as well is you'll notice that with that half waffle design, I'm pretty finicky and pretty picky about where I want that half waffle to sit on my hand when I'm gripping the bike. So what I like that Torque One Racing does is that with these grips, you'll notice that you have 22 points of adjustability. And what I mean by that is that because the cams are removable, you can actually rotate the cams on the throttle tube to get that throttle side grip to sit exactly where you want it. And that goes for every one of the grips that you see up here on the table, but the Defy lock-ons are gonna have the most adjustability. With the ODI grips, you have 7 points of adjustment. With the ProTapers, which will show you, you have 12, but with the Torque ones, you actually have 22 points. So if you really like to fine-tune exactly where you want your grip to sit, this will give you the most adjustability. Now the last one that we have up here in the lineup, these are the clamp-on grips coming from ProTaper. So ProTaper released these in 2018, and they have a feature and some technology built in that you're not going to see in any of the grips that we showed you today. And what it is called their windowed core technology, and it's gonna be on the clutch side grip. So to get the grip to feel a little bit more like just a standard grip, what ProTaper has done is they actually have these windows that are cut out on that plastic sleeve. So you can actually see when I press on this, you can see my fingers indent there. So the reason behind that is just to give a little bit more forgiveness, a little bit more vibration absorption to the grip. Again, just to feel a little bit more like a regular grip. Now for me personally, because I've ridden with these, I don't notice that windowed core all that much, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's working and I just don't notice it, but you're not gonna feel like the grip is mushy because you can see me pushing on it now. Trust me, when you have it installed, you're not gonna feel like the grip is mushy, but it is a cool feature and technology that ProTaper is putting into their clamp-ons. But with that in mind, coming from ProTaper, you have multiple different options as far as the grip pattern. So you can see I've got their half waffle design. So for you half waffle riders out there, they have one of those. They also have a full diamond, which I said earlier, I'm a fan of full diamond grips, so they offer that as well. And lastly, ProTaper, their pillow top regular grip has been one of our most popular year after year. So you can see you've got these raised pillow tops to help with vibration absorption, but also help give some added grip if the grip does get wet. And like I said, very popular grip design, so I think it's really cool that you're seeing that in their clamp-on grips. Now, as far as diameter with the clamp-on, you're gonna be about 0.1 millimeters less than the V2 or the Emig Pro. So these are the thinnest grip when it comes to measurement that I found up here on the table. So if you're looking for a really thin grip, this would be a really good option. Now, one thing I do want to point out that with the ProTaper and the Torque ones, that with both these grips, you can knock out the ends if you do want to run full wraparound handguard. Those are some of our favorite lock-on grips that we have coming from Rocky Mountain ATV MC. If you guys have any questions or want some more feedback from me personally, like I said, I've ridden in a lot of these grips, so I'm more than happy to answer your questions that you have. If you're not quite sure and you're having a tough time deciding, well, we are here to help you out. So leave your questions, your comments below, we'll get those answered. To pick up your next set, it's real simple. Just click on the link at the end of this video. Remember, like I said, bike specific, so enter the make, the model, and the year of your bike to ensure that you get proper fitment. Remember guys, click like this video if you liked it. Get subscribed to our YouTube channel, that way you stay up to date on the latest gear guides, product reviews, and how-to videos that we're constantly filming. I am Chase, we'll see you on the trails.